most at risk, those most vulnerable. Even before the pandemic began, now what we're seeing is that many of the students we work with, their parents are the first to be furloughed or laid off. And that kind of storm coming down on a student who was already struggling to stay engaged academically really calls us to this moment as an organization.
And for students who are living on the edges of poverty and in low-income communities, we now have to get more creative than ever if we're going to do anything about those students who typically and their families are suffering in silence.
What we have tried to do is, in the same way that restaurants, retail are innovating their approach, we're innovating our own approach on how to continue our relationship with young people who need us most through text, through telesupport, through Zoom, and in a lot of ways, just ensuring that we can create a connection with the student where in some cases they don't have access to a cell phone or they don't have access to a laptop at home. So we're having to be innovative to create consistency for some of the young people that we know we're worried when we think about who are those students who are on the cusp of potentially disengaging or dropping out, because that's a process and it's not a single event. And this is a process that's going to be tough for us. And we know we have to be prepared when this eventually becomes a re-engagement exercise for our CIS professionals. That is the right conversation to be having right now. And when we think about, it's trite to say this, that we don't want to go back to normal. What we mean by that is that we have to reimagine the content of what the school experience is going to look like in the same way that we think about, protocols will change. My prediction is that in schools and at workplaces, you're going to see people's temperature being taken. We need to be able to do that same thing for young people. There's a way to do that with professionals who can unpack the trauma, the grief, the anxiety that students are feeling and put as much importance into those components so that we can ensure a student can begin learning, because they cannot without ensuring that those pieces are in place first.
Thank you very much for that, Rey Saldaña. We appreciated so much your input this morning.
Thank you so much.